Hello and welcome to last week's News Today, the show where we talk about all of the super important news that you just can't seem to get anywhere else. We have some very, very exciting things to talk about this week that you definitely want to stay tuned for. If you're interested in mascot violence in Colorado, prehistoric meatballs potentially hitting the shelves near you, and people being found alive in funeral homes after they've already been all prepared for their funerals. So, if you're interested in any or all of these things, watch on, be amazed, and enjoy the show. South Carolina authorities found a groundhog in one of their jail cells. The questions that arise with this are if it wandered in there by itself, if it was arrested, or if it was turning itself in for some kind of crime. It's potentially a cover-up for some kind of thing that this groundhog did. This story is being left such a mystery, but we will keep you posted whenever we find out anything about this interesting case of the groundhog in the Colorado prison cell. In addition to animal stories, rats are potentially the answer to many more things than we thought. Rats have generally been seen as a nuisance and something to be exterminated in old times and even modern times, but some people believe that they could be the source to stop wildlife trafficking. The details of this are unclear, but there have been studies to show that there may be methods to use rats to help to end these kinds of problems. Mascots may not be safe as you thought they were. In Colorado, the Colorado Rockies mascot was attacked whilst he was dancing during one of their games. He's okay, but this does raise concerns, seeing as mascots have been something that have been treasured for many, many, many years. And it really makes me upset because some people, absolutely nothing is sacred for. You can't even be a mascot nowadays without being in danger of someone attacking you or assaulting you for no real reason at all. Maybe they just don't like the team, but it's very, very horrible. So stay safe out there, especially if you're a mascot. In addition to these tragic stories, there's a missing persons case. Well, maybe not as much a person, but a giant red spoon from an Arizona Dairy Queen. The spoon was reportedly stolen, and they're searching for it, but they cannot find it yet. They're still searching, and our hearts go out to them on their search for this tragic loss, and we hope that they find the spoon soon. There's also a tasty little article of history that we have to go over. Somewhere in an Australian company, they're making mammoth balls, meatballs, or meat moth. I'm not really sure what it's going to be called, but they have made a meatball using mammoth DNA. I'm not sure if they're going to try to sell these to a wide consumer basis. I'm not sure if they even taste good or why you'd want to eat mammoth, but that prehistoric flavor is something that I'm sure that many of us would be very excited to try. There is a sighting or a report of a cocaine shark. That's right, a shark that reportedly did cocaine. How that works with the sea and everything, I'm not completely sure, but that's what the story says. There was obviously the story of the cocaine bear that they're even making a movie about, and they're talking about making a movie about the cocaine shark as well. There's also supposedly a story of a meth alligator that the people who brought us such classics as Sharknado, which seems related to this other story, are going to bring us potentially a meth alligator movie as well. The real question is, how many movies can they get out of this concept of animals doing drugs? Is it really that interesting? Are these true stories? How embellished are they? It's really, really hard to tell, so we got to keep an eye on that. Is slapping the next big sport? This has been something that many people have been watching recently, as many big places on television have been streaming where it's essentially two guys standing and slapping each other until one of them gets knocked down. Now, is this just unnecessary violence and people are just watching this to see big guys slapping each other and getting hurt? Is it even suitable for TV? Is there any honor or sport in this? Is there any real technique, or are you just trying to hit each other as hard as possible and not get knocked down? That's the question that will be answered coming over the coming months as we see where this goes. There is a Mexican president who seems to have seen an elf. This doesn't even seem the proper time for such a thing, but he's seen something that he cannot explain as anything but an elf. In this time of year, it doesn't really make sense. Is he serious? Well, it seems he's 100% serious about these claims of seeing one of Santa's little helpers. Should we believe this? I mean, who are we really to say if elves are real or not, or if Santa's real or not? Does he believe in the Easter Bunny as well? Has he seen him? I know one thing for sure, that if Santa is indeed real, as we believe, this man is 100% on the nice list. There came an order from the Indian government on Valentine's Day that all people should hug at least a certain number of cows on Valentine's Day. Now, I know that some people might just think of this as a kind gesture. I don't know if some of these Indian cultures think that animals such as cows are sacred, and if this is some kind of eternal benefit for showing them reverence and respect on this day. It might just be nonsense, but it might have a deeper meaning to them, and maybe we should be hugging animals too. What harm could it do? Moving along, there was a woman found alive after being moved to a New York funeral home. Now, as surprising as this is and how horrific as it sounds, this is the second time that this has happened. And the first time there was a $10,000 fine. I could not believe how low $10,000 is for basically being moved while, I don't know if you were the influence or something, or if you were in a deep sleep, but you were basically being prepared to be shown at a funeral. It's just insane to think that this happened 2 times so recently. So, I mean, she almost could have attended her own funeral in her casket even and still been alive. Could you imagine waking up to that? That would be insane. But on a different level, there is a Sasquatch equation to figure out the likelihood of Sasquatch being spotted, it turns out. It's just simple math. They just took the amount of bears in certain areas based on the sightings of Sasquatch, and they put together the fact that for every 900 bears there are on the earth, there's one Sasquatch sighting, which is vastly more Bigfoot sightings than I could have ever imagined that there would be. Are they real? Are they fake? Well, it seems that most people think that most of these sightings are basically bears just standing on their hind legs, seeing as that the height would add up, the sounds, the look, and everything seems to add up. But those of us who are true believers still hold out hope that Sasquatch is indeed real, and we're keeping an eye out for him because we know that he's out there, and we will find him. Also in these recent news, there is a Philadelphia boy who needed rescued from a claw machine after he went inside because he didn't get the thing that he thought he deserved because of the way that he tried to get the prize. Now, the authorities had to actually come and break the machine open to get him out of there okay. He's completely fine, but do you think he's going to play it again? That's the question, because he may have found out that it's a scam. Who knows? I don't know why he went in there, but the real question I think we're all asking ourselves is, did he get any of the prizes afterward? Because you go through all of that, you're stuck inside this machine, and they just break it open and you go. I don't know how I feel about that. Was justice served? Was he simply just being stupid? We do not have all the answers to these questions. Only the boy knows what really happened, and I think we all should keep an eye on that. Well, sadly, that is all that we have for this week. I hope you enjoyed this fun little segment. If you did, please consider dropping a like or subscribing and coming back next week, where there will surely be more news that is so vastly important that you simply could not miss it. Thank you all, and good night.